The desert wind carried the scent of blood in the summer of 1099. Do you enjoy witnessing history's most pivotal clashes?
Subscribe now to join our campaign through the ages. The march to Jerusalem begins now.
The year 1095 marked a violent turning point for Christendom.
The Eastern Emperor begged for aid against Turkish invaders.
At Clermont, he called for a sacred campaign. Thousands sewed red crosses onto their tunics in response.
Europe was a fractured collection of warring feudal states. The Islamic world faced its own internal political divisions.
Heavy cavalry defined the military strength of the Western forces.
The Seljuk forces relied on swift, mounted archers. A chaotic peasant army arrived first and perished quickly.
Professional armies finally gathered in Constantinople in early 1097.
The Crusaders crossed into Anatolia, seeking a direct path. The Seljuk Sultan set a trap in the valley of Dorylaeum.
Turkish archers encircled the vanguard on July 1, 1097.
Arrows rained down upon the immobilized Norman forces. Hold the line! Women carried water to soldiers amidst the deadly hail.
Heavy armor protected the knights from light Turkish arrows. The terrain favored the defensive posture of the Crusaders.
In the valley of Dorylaeum, discipline held despite the overwhelming noise of battle. The shield wall remained unbroken.
Suddenly, the main Crusader army appeared over the ridge.
The Duke of Lower Lorraine led a charge from the flank. The Count of Toulouse arrived to pressure the rear.
Caught between two forces, the Turkish line shattered instantly.
The enemy camp was looted as the Sultan fled. The army marched south through the scorching Anatolian heat. They reached the colossal walls of Antioch in October 1097.
The city was considered impregnable by conventional military standards.
Siege towers were built, but the defenders held firm. Famine struck the besieging camp during the harsh winter. Soldiers resorted to eating leather and boiled thistles. An Armenian guard betrayed the city in June 1098. The Norman prince's men climbed a ladder into a tower. Gates opened, and the Crusaders flooded the ancient streets.
Massacres ensued, but a greater threat approached rapidly.
The commander arrived with a massive relief army. The besiegers became the besieged inside the starving city.
Morale plummeted as hope for reinforcement vanished completely.
A mystic claimed to find the Holy Lance buried underground. This discovery ignited a fanatical fervor among the troops.
On June 28, 1098, the starving army marched out.
The Atabeg of Mosul underestimated the desperation of his enemy. He allowed them to deploy fully outside the gates.
Frankish knights charged with reckless, divine-inspired fury. The Muslim coalition fell apart due to internal rivalries. Massive relief army broke and fled in panic.
The path to the holy city was finally open.
They arrived at the walls of Jerusalem in June 1099. Only a fraction of the original force remained alive.
The Fatimid garrison poisoned the wells outside the city. Thirst tormented the attackers under the summer sun.
Geno's ships brought timber to construct massive siege engines.
Two huge siege towers rolled toward the walls on July 14.
Defenders fired Greek fire to burn the wooden structures.
The Duke of Lower Lorraine commanded the northern tower. He bridged the gap to the ramparts on July 15.
Crusaders poured onto the Temple Mount with swords drawn.
The city fell amidst a horrific and bloody slaughter.
Victory was secured, but the enemy counterattacked immediately.
An Egyptian army gathered at Ascalon to retake the city.
The Duke of Lower Lorraine did not wait for a siege.
He marched his exhausted army out to meet the threat. They caught the Egyptian camp unprepared on August 12.
The speed of the assault caused total confusion. Fatimid troops were driven into the sea and drowned.
This final victory secured the Kingdom of Jerusalem's survival.
The First Crusade ended as a staggering military success.